I don't think it's uncommon for the best teams in any sport to feel like the city that they're in, and the Detroit Pistons feel like Detroit. Welcome into My Take Is. Thank you for watching the video. Go ahead and subscribe. It's free. The Pistons, number one as of right now in the Eastern Conference. They're having an awesome year, and they're just a fun basketball team to watch. And when people talk Pistons, they oftentimes want to start with Cade Cunningham, which I understand. Former number one overall pick. He is the engine of their offense, and I'm going to discuss him. But the Pistons' success this year, I believe, starts with Jalen Duren. When you look at why the Detroit Pistons are 9-2, it is not because of their offense. Cade Cunningham is having another really good year. Don't get me wrong. I don't want this to be like an anti-Cade Cunningham thing because I love watching that guy play basketball, and that'll be obvious as I start talking about him. But Jalen Duren as the defensive anchor is why this team is 9-2. The Pistons are 15th in the NBA as of right now in offensive rating. They are 4th in defensive rating, and they are 6th in net rating. And the reason why they're the 4th best defensive team in the NBA is because they have guys on the perimeter who can really guard, no doubt. But they have Jalen Duren, who really sets the tone. I think everyone's seen that viral clip now of him yelling at Ausar Thompson for missing a rotation and giving up an easy layup because of it. He sets the tone every night, and I also want to start with him because I just like watching the guy play basketball. In an era of the NBA where big guys don't always play big, Jalen Duren always plays big. All right, he's strong. The muscles freaking ripple off of him, and he plays like it. He rebounds. He blocks shots. Like, all of his shots on offense come from within the painted area, and it's just a beautiful thing to see. And he's extremely skilled while doing it. He's got this little, like, in and out dribble that he can hit as he's going to his right, and if he gets to his right hand, like, it's over. He's going to finish with his right hand around the bucket because he's just got really nice touch. And again, I think he's the biggest reason for their success just because of what he brings defensively. He's not their best player. It is clearly Cade Cunningham, but the Pistons are not the 1 seed right now, 11 games into the NBA season without Jalen Duren and the impact that he has on defense. Now, Cade Cunningham is their best player. Let me wax poetic about this guy. He just makes playing basketball look easy, and I think that's the best compliment you can give any player. Like, when he has the basketball, I feel like the right decision is going to be made the majority of the time. I know he turns it over a little bit too much at 3.5 turnovers a game, but like, when he's on the floor, he is the offense. Everything filters through him, right? He's averaging 10 assists a game right now, which is a really nice number for him. I believe that would be a career high. Oh, and he's also averaging 27.5 points per game, and there's a lot of debate right now on social media. He had 46 the other night on like 45 shots. I do not care. 46 points in the NBA is a lot. And again, he is the engine of the offense, especially right now. Tobias Harris hasn't really been playing a ton. I think he's a little banged up. He's only played in 6 of the Pistons' 11 games this year, and in the games where he doesn't play, then Cade Cunningham should and is going to get more shots. But he just plays basketball, I think, the way that you want your best player to. He is not all about himself. He wants to get his teammates involved, and that is the best guy to play with. While Jalen Duren is the anchor of the defense, while Cade Cunningham isn't some elite defender, he impacts the defensive effort from the Pistons because of the way that he shares the basketball. No one wants to go play pickup basketball on Saturday morning and not get to shoot. And if you notice, when guys don't get to shoot on Saturday mornings playing pickup, they usually don't try to play defense either. And in the NBA, it's the exact same thing. When you have opportunities to touch the ball on offense and take shots, you are then more willing to go and grab a rebound. You are then more willing to get in a stance and try to play defense. And Cade Cunningham does an excellent job of allowing his teammates to do that. So Cade Cunningham and Jalen Duren, they are the heads of this Detroit Pistons snake. Cade Cunningham offensively, Jalen Duren defensively. And then I love the role players. I freaking love the role players, man. Duncan Robinson shooting 39% from three to start the year. He has slid very nicely into that Malik Beasley role. He's not a good defender, but neither was Malik Beasley. Okay? And we could sit here and we could argue like, who's the better defender? I'm not going to do that. Arguing, who's a better defender between, Duncan Robinson and Malik Beasley is like arguing which vegetable's better, an apple or an orange. It doesn't even make sense. So we're not going to do it. I'm not going to waste my time doing that. So love the way that he's kind of filled that role to kind of help space the floor. They lose Dennis Schroeder and Tim Hardaway Jr. in the offseason. And they bring in Caris LeVert, who I think is a really nice piece to kind of address both of their issues, right? Or both of the things that Tim Hardaway Jr. and Dennis Schroeder did. Caris LeVert can play off the ball when Cade Cunningham is on the floor, and he can catch and shoot in a very similar manner with which Tim Hardaway Jr. did. Caris LeVert shooting 41% from three to start the year on about 3 attempts per game. That's probably not going to hold, but he's a guy that if he's open, you have to respect his ability to shoot. And then obviously, whenever Cade Cunningham is on the bench, Caris LeVert can run your offense, just like Dennis Schroeder did. All right, so he's not the same defender as Dennis Schroeder is, but offensively, I think he's a nice kind of bridge guy who can kind of address both of those roles, even though he's not as good of an offensive creator as Dennis Schroeder, and he's not as good of a catch and shoot guy as Tim Hardaway, but he's more than serviceable in both of those areas. I think he's been just a really nice pickup for them, and he's a really good player coming off the bench. And then you have their chaos agents. That's what I'll call them. Ausar Thompson and Ron Holland. I love both of these guys. I very quickly fall in love with players like this because Ausar Thompson can't really shoot the basketball. Ron Holland, the jumper looks better, but he's not exactly lacing it. They're both shooting 31% from three. Ausar Thompson's only taking 1 3 a game. Ron Holland's up to about 3.5. But it doesn't matter. They are both so active and so competitive and so athletic that they can still impact the game with their ability to cut. They both rebound the ball really well. Ausar Thompson's at 6.5 rebounds a game. Ron Holland's he's at about 4. They both lead the Pistons in steals per game. Ausar Thompson's at 1.8. Ron Holland's is at 1.5. And so their activity and their athletic ability and their ability to guard, you can leave them on the floor. Does it hurt your offense? It absolutely does. The fact that Ausar Thompson, I think, is third in minutes for them, that certainly doesn't help their offensive rating. But with that being said, it certainly helps their defensive rating, right? So this is a really tough team that where it clearly starts on the defensive end, and players like Ausar Thompson and Ron Holland just being athletic really impacts that. I do think that when Tobias Harris comes back and starts playing more consistently, he's going to help the offense. Just because he's another guy who can bring the ball up the floor and he can score. And if you need a guy to bail you out of a possession, obviously Cade Cunningham is your first choice for that on this team. But Tobias Harris is another guy who can step up and kind of fill that role when needed. So I love watching this team play. They're just tough. They feel like Detroit. They're just a tough basketball team. And they play hard every single night. It's very blue collar. And I don't think it's surprising that they're finding success with a team like that. I don't think it's uncommon for the best teams in any sport to feel like the city that they're in, and the Detroit Pistons feel like Detroit. I don't know really how else to say that, but they just do. So I love this team. I hope that this level of play continues because they're, like I said, just a blast to watch. I love the effort, the athleticism, the intensity on defense. That's why they're 9-2. I think they've won 8 games in a row, and it's just an absolute blast to watch. Speaking of a blast to watch, this YouTube channel is. Subscribe. It's free. And let me know your thoughts on the Pistons in the comments. Is this sustainable? I think it is. Like as long as you play defense like this, then you have a chance to beat anybody.